Hello, I'm Peter French, hoping to bring you some more value with this, the second video in our series entitled Leadership Applied. This is version 1 of 2 implementation slide sets. There are thousands of things a leader must do and should do, but in our view, rather than being involved in the chaos of the operating dynamics of your business, you need to define and demand that they work as you expect them to do. Delegation and even abdication of the responsibility and accountability of any business process will not achieve your future state. There's always some risk in change, but the alternative for you, the leader, defining and accepting responsibility for the process and outcomes cannot be stressed enough. Build or buy is the question to keep in mind as we talk about building a business process. If the cost escalates, then the axis of the risk cube grows proportionately. Similarly, if the project contains new and, more importantly, unknown technology, the extent of this feature can also weigh heavily on the ability of employees to accept the new system, building it into their everyday lives, of course. Resistance brings shortcuts and undermining of the process. Lastly, if the project runs forever, the risk escalates out of all proportion to the benefits. We have actually seen a scenario where a long-running project meant the demise of the leader and eventually that of the enterprise as well. So the formula is: risk is equal to the sum of these components, cost plus time plus technology. As leader, it is your responsibility to make sure that the application of your newfound development ideas and the definition of that future state stays within manageable bounds. P.S. Don't run these projects yourself. Delegate them and review the owner of them with a good rhythm. And this is why, as mentioned in our video 1 of the series, that contextual application is all about making choices between a cathedral or a mud hut. There are many benefits to the leader by closely directing these ideas in an appropriate way. We have actually seen a case where buying and force-feeding a world best practice solution creates a political war in the enterprise. It causes high employee attrition. Then, through cost overruns, loss of performance, it results in the loss of a business to a black night. The leader went into debt to fund the change, but didn't forecast some of the unintended consequences. The staff just didn't like the solution imposed on them, so projects ran slow and some never finished. Because the solution offered so much, it covered areas of the business where there were no systems, only some tribal knowledge locked in somebody's head. Change is the enemy of stability, so be prepared for long-running implementation. Because the business had bought somebody else's solution, any changes to that solution to meet local requirements, which is a natural need, innovations by that original supplier have to be sometimes forgone, or the cost of keeping up with their innovations is a cost not many budget for. All in all, the risk cube grows and grows, but the two most unwanted outcomes are slow implementation and rejection and even purposeful undermining by employees. So, as leader, Your application looks to Cobuild from the bottom up by first defining the tribal knowledge that forms the way we do things here, and then applying your new business development knowledge to that while building a solution using the circle of learning with your team. You'll find that there's lots of support and ideas on how we can accomplish the desired outcomes with extreme buy-in from employees if you launch this project correctly. By enlisting the help of others, they see their ideas being evaluated. So help build the outcome, or becoming convinced that the outcome has some of their essence built in. Innovation of the resultant system can be built in parallel to the current system which is doing the job. Then the innovation is tested in a sandbox where errors will not affect customer satisfaction until the rollout is forecast and accomplished. This taste and see of your own system also tightens employee engagement and sharpens delivery. Yes, both the build and buy systems do produce a similar outcome. It's just that the local one fixes one pressing problem and doesn't try to fix the whole of the business dynamic. For example, installing some huge financial package to fix, basically, the customer names database, or an expensive CRM system to fix the work habits of your sales team. Where a small system, even one written on the back of a cigarette packet, could have achieved the same objective. There are only two absolutely key survival systems that must be in place for an enterprise to start succeeding: finance and sales. One to prudently husband the money we have, and the other to capture new money and grow that in a repeatable, qualitative, and quantitative way. If you have a sales manager leader, they must produce a business system that can deliver on that mantra. If you don't have one, then you have to start building it. So as you expand your sales team, new entrants can work your expected way and produce your expected results. To do this, you need a plan. And we use our basic five-finger model of a sales process. Each bucket in the funnel is named: find the lead, qualify the opportunity, craft a solution that fits the needs identified in the qualification phase, close the order, deliver customer satisfaction. As a leader, your demand of those that occupy this process is to understand the velocity that a lead moves through the process to finally become an order in the bank. This is the first lever that's used to manage and improve the process: the effectiveness of the people in the process to convert. If they can do it in half the time, then they can do twice as much revenue. The second lever is to learn why we are losing leads in our process, or engaging them to ultimately be satisfied customers. If we have a leak-proof pipe instead of a leaky funnel, one suspect would become one order in the bank. As a leader, this is a bare minimum demanded of you and of a business process that traditionally has a far way to go to gain any credibility. If you have a horror story to tell about your brush with salespeople, then look no further than your own inability to know about and demand these basic requirements of your business process. A last interesting thing about the sales process, which is deserving of the attention of the entrepreneurial leader, is that seeing we have optimized efficiency by using that first lever of time and increased effectiveness with the second lever, minimizing wasted opportunities, is the contribution to the cost of sales. The basic premise of the cost of sales is expenses occurred in making the sale both fixed, that's product and plant and all those kind of things, and variable, that which we expend on our sales efforts to either win or lose. Our slide shows an exponential curve going higher and the longer the sales process endures. Salespeople are notorious for falling in love with opportunities that they spend a huge amount of time with, while their velocity through the process is stunted by some or other thing which is out of our control. By being very focused on this ratio and while making sure that opportunities are either rejected or not even engaged with in the first two buckets of the sales process, the entrepreneurial leader can shave a good few percent off the cost of sale of each deal. And guess what? This flows right to the margin, your GP percentage. Yeah, keep it simple. We are not building something to hit the moon, so you don't need a complicated solution. Neither are we trying to fix the dynamics of a family relationship, which can be extremely complex. All we need to do is create a recipe and slavishly follow it. Measure, measure, measure again. You get what you measure, not what you pay for. See you in the second implementation session.